Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, Escape from Transylvania. The goddess next door and John Haynes must escape a horde of vampires on the hunt in this horror-filled Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Escape from Transylvania in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. I recently got a chance to take a look at a promotional image for the new Terminator film. And my response to that image is the same response I gave to Halle Berry's Catwoman back in 2004. I was just completely disgusted by this image, and after seeing this image, I had no interest in going to see this film. Because after I looked at this image of an old grandma, Linda Hamilton, some anonymous woman on the right, and what I believed to be a man in the center, who I believed was to be too skinny to play a Terminator. I had many people on Facebook tell me that what I believed was a man in the center of the image was actually a woman. And after taking another look at this female, I just shook my head because everything in that image just gives you absolutely no reason to go out and see this film. Now, when I think of Terminators, I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, a large, muscular man who looks physically imposing and physically intimidating and looks like he has the muscle and the power to go out here and complete his mission as a Terminator. That's what makes the Terminator an iconic character. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger's big muscles and his intense and steely-eyed look. When I look at this effeminate-looking, mannish woman, I don't think Terminator. I don't think threat. I don't think danger. And that's not that doesn't give you a reason to go and see this movie. What I see in this image is identity politics trying to be rammed down people's throats and a continued push by Hollywood to push this narrative where they try to promote the idea of these women being so-called strong women by taking on the image and the role of the man. Because when I look at your Linda Hamilton, she's got a short haircut and it's looking masculine. The so-called Terminator is looking masculine. And then you have a softer looking female on the side. And when you look at this image, it's a very troubling image because it looks like you have these women trying to take the place of men, and then they're trying to make it where they're going to push the idea that in order for a female to be a strong female, she has to be a masculine female. And that really contradicts what James Cameron presented in Terminator 2, because in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, what made Sarah Connor a strong character was her strength of character and her strength of conviction in protecting her son, John. And all of that is lost in this image because the people who produce the Terminator films are more caught up in feminism and identity politics than they are promoting a positive and balanced image of womanhood, because that's what we saw in the original Terminator films, was this woman having the strength of character to stand up against the robot in the first film with the support of Kyle Reese, and in the second film continuing to stand up against this menace with the T-1000 at the side of the T-800 and John Connor. The woman's role was still a support role, but we got to see the strength of character of a woman in the role of the helpmeet and support. And that's why the Sarah Connor character has remained popular for so long and has become one of the icons of strong heroines. However, when I look at this image, it looks like your feminists have come in, your SJWs have come in, and they're looking to push their identity politics in this image by masculinizing both of the women. And that's something that we should not be pushing, because when you masculinize females, you devalue women, And you devalue women by not valuing the things that make women great. Now, I know Hollywood wants to make the future female, but if they continue to push these masculinized images of women, their future is going to be bankruptcy court. Because previous films where they have tried to push these masculine women, like Your Proud Mary and like Your Atomic Blonde, have flopped at the box office. And the reason why they have flopped at the box office is because you're trying to push masculine women to a group of men, and your core audience is primarily going to be men for a Terminator film. And most men who have money are not going to spend money to watch a movie featuring a masculine acting woman, because a masculine acting woman is just not something they consider appealing, nor do they consider that image to be a sexually attractive one. So if you present that image in media, what you're going to do is wind up alienating the core audience of viewers who would have gone out to go see this Terminator film. Because when I look at this image, I don't see anything that gives me a reason to go spend $12 or $13 at the box office to go watch this film. Instead, all it does is make me want to continue my conviction and belief that the Terminator franchise should have ended at Terminator 2 Judgment Day, because that's the film that I consider the end of the Terminator franchise, and I do not acknowledge any of the other films that came after Terminator 2 Judgment Day, because I believe James Cameron's vision when he talked about the film ending with The Road was the best ending for that franchise. Because when that film ended with The Road, it left everything open for us to come up with our own conclusion to what happened to John Connor and what happened in the future. And when I look at people's attempts to try to tell us what happened in the future, all they do is wind up ruining this iconic character and wind up destroying this franchise. Now, when it comes down to this Terminator franchise, I believe Hollywood just needs to terminate the Terminator franchise, let it die, and then move on to a new and original character. If you want to do a strong heroine, don't call her the Terminator. What you do is create a brand new character and let that character go on and have their own iconic name. Because to tarnish the name and reputation of the Terminator with this identity politics laden film as it looks from this image is just further tarnishes that iconic and storied 30-year-old franchise and prevents it from being the icon that it's supposed to be. Because again, I look at this image and I see no reason to go out here and watch this Terminator film, because when I look at this image, all I see is Hollywood trying to push the idea of the future being female, the future being masculine females, and promoting the idea that in order for a woman, that in order for her to be strong, she has to be like a man. As a writer who writes strong heroines, I know that it's capable of making a story featuring a strong heroine, a story that features a full character transformation arc, and I can play to the strengths of women and show the strengths of women without her trying to try to fit into the role of a man. There's a lot of great things about women. Unfortunately, your feminists in Hollywood and your SJWs in Hollywood don't understand that people want to see positive images of women being women, not women coveting the role of the man, playing the role of the man, and trying to shoehorn themselves into the role of the man. No, most people want to see an image of strong women they want to see a positive image of women, and they want to see a woman being a woman. They don't want to see a woman trying to be a man, trying to fit into the role of a man, and trying to be like a man. When men see that, they get turned off, and they have no reason to go out here and watch this kind of film, because this film is showing those men that there's nothing there to them. And when it comes down to women, most women don't want to see a woman acting like a man. So Hollywood, if they continue on this quest to make the future female, they're going to wind up in bankruptcy court, because men and women don't want to watch a masculine acting woman in a film. I know that it's possible to make stories that feature strong heroines, and I know it's possible to make stories that feature strong heroines that men see as someone they like to date and girls see as someone they want to be friends with. And I've had great success writing stories like that in the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, and the Spinsterella trilogy. And if Hollywood would look at those type of stories for a story model, they might actually find the kind of story that allows them to get box office success with both men and women. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct stories featuring strong heroines like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, and the Spinsterella trilogy, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.